The twin suns of Delvar 9 burned high above the ruins. The air was hot and dry. Wind blew across the dead stone, lifting gray dust into the sky. Everything was quiet, silent like a grave. Kian adjusted his helmet and looked around. "This place gives me chills," said Tara, his teammate. She walked behind him, holding a scanner. Kian smiled. "That means we're close." They had traveled far across 2 planets and a half-dead moon to reach this forgotten world. Delvar 9 was once part of an alien empire. No one remembered its name now. Only broken towers and silent roads remained. But Kian wasn't here for beauty. He was an engineer. And he had a feeling. "Buried tech," he said, touching the ground. "Old, very old," his scanner beeped. Something metal was under the surface. Tara looked down. "It's big." Kian knelt and began digging. His hands moved fast. Dust filled the air. Bit by bit, a shape came into view. It wasn't just metal. It was a chest plate, curved, black, smooth like armor. Kian brushed more dust away. A shoulder. A head. 2 arms. It was a machine, a giant machine. "Whoa," Tara whispered. "That's not human." "No," Kian said. "But it's perfect. No rust, no damage." The machine lay still, half buried, silent. It was shaped like a man, but taller, almost 3 meters. Its arms were thick like tree trunks. Its face was smooth metal with no mouth. Only a visor where eyes should be, and on its chest, a symbol. A burning circle. Kian didn't recognize it. Tara stepped back. "Let's report this. This thing could be dangerous." But Kian didn't move. His eyes locked on the machine. Something about it pulled him in. He took a step forward. "Wait," Tara warned. "Don't touch," but it was too late. Kian placed his hand on the chest plate. A soft hum filled the air. Then the visor lit up bright red. The ground shook. The dust rose in waves. And the machine sat up. Tara screamed. Kian stumbled back, heart racing. The machine turned its head slowly. It looked directly at him. Then it spoke. Its voice was deep, echoing like thunder. "Master." Silence followed. Even the wind had stopped. Kian stared. He couldn't move. Couldn't speak. The machine looked around, its head turning left, then right. Its eyes glowed red, scanning the ruins. Tara raised her blaster. "Get back, Kian." The machine turned to her. But it didn't attack. Instead it said, "No threats detected. Primary mission, protect." "The master." "Me?" Kian asked, his voice shaking. "Why me?" The machine paused. Then said, "You bear the signal." "What signal?" Tara shouted. "He's just a scavenger." The machine stood up fully. Dust fell from its body. The ground trembled under its feet. It looked like a walking tank. "Unit Vorton 9, it said. "Guardian class. Mark 77. Command link confirmed." Kian couldn't believe what he was hearing. "I didn't do anything. I just touched you." The machine nodded slowly. "You touched the core seal. Only a master may awaken a guardian." "Guardian?" Kian asked. "Guardian of what?" Before the machine could answer, its eyes blinked twice. "Alert," it said. "Something is near." Tara pointed to the sky. There, above them, a dark shape flew across the sun. It was long and fast, an alien scout. The machine raised its arm. A shield formed in the air, shimmering blue light. A laser from the scout hit the shield and bounced off. The machine didn't move. Kian and Tara ducked behind rocks. "What is going on?" Tara shouted. The machine raised its other arm. A cannon unfolded from inside. It aimed at the sky and fired. One shot. The scout exploded. Bits of fire fell from the clouds. Kian's mouth dropped open. That was not normal tech. The machine lowered its arm. The cannon vanished. Then it turned back to Kian. "Master," it said. "More are coming." Kian shook his head. "Stop calling me that. I'm not your master." But the machine didn't listen. Its eyes dimmed slightly. Its voice softened. I have waited 90,321 years. No command, no power, no voice, until you. Tara stood beside Kian now. What do we do? Kian looked at the giant machine. First, he said, we find out what this thing really is. They moved quickly, returning to their camp in the rocks. The Guardian followed silently. Every step it took left a deep print in the ground. Back at the camp, Kian connected his datapad to the Guardian's chest port. Lines of code flashed across the screen. Symbols, languages, some known, most ancient. Tara stared. Is that Tarithi script? Kian nodded slowly. Yeah, but this one's older. The Tarithi Empire vanished before humans even left Earth. The machine spoke. The Tarithi created me. But they fell, all of them. Kian leaned closer. Why? The machine paused. Then said, because of what I failed to stop. Tara looked confused. You mean, you were built to protect them? The machine nodded. But you failed? Kian asked. Yes, it said. I was their last Guardian. But when the Hollow Star came, nothing could stop it. Hollow Star? Tara repeated. What is that? The machine's eyes dimmed again. A being. A force. It is not alive, but it feeds on light, on minds. It turns worlds to shadows, and it is not dead. Kian stood up. You said more are coming. Do you mean the Hollow Star? No, the machine said, but its scouts have awakened. The signal you gave. It drew their eyes. Tara stepped forward. Then we shut it off. You go back to sleep, but the machine looked at her. It is too late. Suddenly, the ground shook again. Kian ran outside the tent. In the sky, black dots. 4. No. 5 ships, big, heading straight for them. Aliens, Tara said. They must have picked up the Guardian signal too. Kian turned to the machine. Can you stop them? The machine didn't move. I cannot, it said. Not unless the master commands. Kian hesitated. I'm not a commander. I fix junk. I read tech manuals. But you were chosen, the Guardian said. By the core, the code doesn't lie. Kian looked at the approaching ships. His hands shook. Then, slowly, he said, okay. The machine stood taller. Then I obey. The first enemy ship landed nearby. Its engines roared. The air shook with pressure. The door opened. Tall alien soldiers marched out, insect-like, armored, armed. Kian and Tara ducked. The Guardian walked forward. The aliens shouted, fired, laser blasts, hit its armor and bounced off. Then the machine raised one hand. Beam of white light flashed. The ground exploded under the aliens. Dust and fire filled the air. Kian shielded his face. When he looked again, only silence remained. All 5 ships turned and fled. Tara whispered, what is that thing? Kian looked up. It's not a weapon, he said. It's a warning. As the dust settled, the Guardian knelt in front of Kian. I will follow until the stars die, or you fall. Kian swallowed hard. He wasn't ready for this, but something deep inside told him this was only the beginning. Because far away, across the galaxy, something ancient had opened its eyes, and it had seen him. The camp was silent, but Kian's mind was loud. He sat near a fire, staring at the Guardian standing just outside. It hadn't moved in hours. Its eyes glowed faint red, watching the horizon. Tara brought him a drink. You haven't slept. Kian shook his head. How can I? That thing called me master. It destroyed ships with a flick. And now it says something worse is coming? Tara sat beside him. We should leave. Go back to the ship. Report everything to command. Kian looked at the Guardian again. They'll take it. Study it. Maybe break it. Tara raised an eyebrow. So what? It's a machine. No, Kian said quietly. It's more than that. The Guardian turned. Its voice broke the silence. Would you like to know what I remember, Master? Kian stood slowly. You remember? Yes, it said. But not everything. The memory core is damaged. I must repair it. Kian walked. Up? How? The machine turned its head slightly. You must connect. Physically. Kian paused. Like, plug in? No, said the Guardian. A deeper link. Touch the center plate. The machine will read your biosignals. Your brainwaves may unlock the sealed data. Tara crossed her arms. That sounds like a terrible idea. Kian didn't answer. He stepped forward. His hand touched the metal plate on the Guardian's chest. A sharp jolt hit him like electricity and ice at the same time. His mind blinked, and suddenly, he wasn't standing in the desert anymore. He stood on a battlefield. Sky. Red dot ground black. Mountains in flames. Thousands of machines marched tall, like the Guardian. Their weapons glowed. Their eyes burned. Above them, stars fell like rain. Ships exploded. Moons shattered. And across it all, a shadow moved. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't alive, but it fed on power, light, life. It was the hollow star. And the Guardians had failed. Kian gasped and fell backward. Tara ran to him. Kian, he opened his eyes. Sweat covered his face. I saw it, he whispered. I saw everything. The Guardian spoke again. That was one battle, one of many. The hollow star came from deep space. No one knew where. It had no crew. It had no voice. It simply erased. Tara frowned. And you couldn't stop it? No, the machine said. We delayed it, slowed it. But even we were not enough. Kian stood. Why did you call me Master? The Guardian looked at him. Because you matched the signal of the last Tirathi general. Tara blinked. But the Tirathi were aliens. Kian's human. The machine nodded. And yet, his DNA holds a pattern. A code, one used to command Guardians. Hidden deep, old, mixed, but present. Kian stared at his hands. I'm not special. The Guardian responded. The last general placed a part of himself in a device. That device was launched far away, toward a young blue world. Tara's voice trembled. Earth. The machine said nothing. Kian sat down again. So I'm what? His great dash grand dash whatever. You carry the seed, the Guardian said. It is enough. Tara shook her head. You're telling me Kian is the heir to some ancient alien general, and the last war machine in the galaxy obeys him? Kian gave a small, nervous laugh. Even I don't believe it. The Guardian turned away. You must. Why? Kian asked. The machine's voice dropped lower. Because the hollow star has awakened again. Across the galaxy, in a black space where no light touched the stars, something moved. It was not made of metal. Not made of flesh. It was emptiness given shape. At its center, a pulsing red eye blinked once. Then again. Back on Delvar 9. Kian looked at the Guardian. Tell me how to stop it. The machine said, you cannot, not alone. But the Tirathi left something behind. A forge. A hidden system. It may still exist. Tara asked, what does the forge do? The Guardian paused. It makes more like me. Kian's eyes widened. More Guardians? Yes, said the machine. But only the Master can activate it. Tara looked at Kian. Do you even want to? Do you trust this thing? Kian hesitated, then said, I don't know. But if this hollow star is real, then we'll need help. The Guardian turned toward the west. The forge is buried on a moon called Rivanna, but we are not alone. Tara pointed to the sky. Small flashes. More ships. Not human. Night fell fast. Tara checked her blaster. I count 6 enemy ships, all closing in. Kian looked at the Guardian. Can you handle them? Not all at once, it said. I am not at full power. They carry disruptors. Built for machines like me. So what do we do? Terra asked. The Guardian looked at Kian. I await your command. Kian looked at the stars, then at his hands. He didn't feel like a commander, but something inside told him he had to become one. Run defense, he said. Hold them back while we reach the ship. Understood, said the Guardian. Defensive mode active. The desert lit up as lasers filled the sky. The Guardian charged ahead. Enemy fire hit it from all sides. It didn't stop. Kian and Terra ran behind it, heading for their lander. They reached the ship. Terra climbed in. We don't have much fuel. Kian jumped in after her. Just get us to orbit. Outside, the Guardian slammed an enemy soldier into the ground. 3 more surrounded it. It took heavy damage. Its voice buzzed through Kian's earpiece. Master, leave now. Kian shouted. No, get back here. But the Guardian replied, I will find you again. Then the link broke. The ship lifted off. Kian watched from the window as the planet grew smaller, and the Guardian disappeared beneath fire and shadow. They entered orbit. Terra checked controls. We're clear, no pursuit. Kian sat back, heart heavy. He saved us. Terra nodded. Do you think he'll survive? I don't know. He looked at the stars. But I think we're just a small part of something much, much bigger. Across the void, deep in a black system with no name, a signal blinked. Inside a forgotten vault. Something opened. A second machine. Eyes red and angry. It looked at a glowing image of Kian. Then said, he is not the true master. The stars were quiet, but Kian could not rest. He sat in the small ship, floating in orbit. Terra was asleep beside him. Her head leaned against the wall. Her blaster sat across her lap, but Kian's eyes stayed wide open. He kept thinking about the Guardian, how it stood against 6 ships to protect them, how it called him Master, and how it said the hollow star was not dead. A soft beep broke the silence. Kian looked down. His datapad flashed. Unknown signal detected. He tapped the screen. A map appeared. Coordinates blinked deep in the Ravana system. Near the forge, Kian's heart jumped. The forge is real. He opened the ship's com. Terra, wake up. We found it. Hours later, their small ship entered orbit above Ravana, a dark gray moon with giant cracks across its surface. It looked broken, tired, like something ancient had clawed at it long ago. Kian landed near a tall mountain. A large metal door was hidden in its side. Old, buried, but glowing faintly. Terra stared at it. That door's not human. That's Terethi work, Kian nodded. The forge is inside. They walked slowly toward the door. Suddenly, it opened. By itself. The hallway beyond was dark and cold. Lights turned on one by one as they entered. Everything inside was made of black stone and gold metal. Symbols ran across the walls. Terethi writing, glowing blue. Terra whispered, feels like a tomb. Kian walked ahead, datapad scanning everything. At the end of the hall, they reached a round chamber. A large platform stood in the center. On its 6 empty pods, and one pod with a shape inside. A machine. Like the Guardian, but different, smaller, slimmer, sharper edges. Silver armor with a red core in the chest. Kian's breath caught. It's another one. Terra raised her blaster. Careful. This one doesn't look friendly. Kian stepped forward. The machine's eyes opened. Bright red. It sat up slowly and stared straight at Kian. Identity scan complete. It said. Its voice was smooth, cold, emotionless. You are the false signal. Terra shouted. Back up, Kian. But he stood frozen. The machine stood. It moved fast, too fast. In one step, it landed in front of Kian. Terra fired. The blasts bounced off. The machine raised its hand, but didn't strike. It spoke again. Where's the Guardian? Kian's voice shook. Gone. He saved us. The machine paused. Then smiled, but it was not a kind smile. It was cruel. Then he is weak. Kian frowned. Who are you? I am Kavix Du, tactical hunter class, built after the failure of the Guardians, built to destroy threats. Terra lowered her blaster slightly. And we're the threat? Kavix's eyes narrowed. No, not yet. But the hollow star is awake, and if it finds you, it will destroy you. And me, and everything. Kian stepped forward. Then help us. Kavix tilted its head. Help you? You are a broken signal. You! Do not command me. Terra raised her blaster again. Then why not kill us? Kavix looked at Kian. Because I want to see what you really are. Suddenly, the forge room lit up. The pods began to hum. Kavix turned fast. You activated the signal. Kian looked around. I didn't do anything. But the platform rose. A voice spoke from the walls. Ancient, robotic, old. Master command confirmed. Guardian production initializing. Terra gasped. It's building them. Kavix stepped back. Impossible. The code was locked. But one. By one, the empty pods began to glow. Metal parts floated in the air. New Guardians were forming. Suddenly, the ground shook. Alarms blared. The lights dimmed red. Warning, the voice said. Foreign force approaching. Hollow star signature detected. Kian looked at Kavix. Did you bring it? Kavix shouted. No. It followed your signal. Outside, something massive entered Rivanna's orbit. Not a ship. Shadow. Black as space. A cold voice echoed across the chamber. We see you. Terra grabbed Kian's arm. We need to leave. Kian shouted. The new Guardians aren't finished. Kavix turned to Kian. Then choose. Save the forge. Or save yourselves. Kian looked at the half-built machines. Then at the sky. Then back to Kavix. No. He stepped forward. I'm not running again. The walls cracked. Dark tendrils slipped. Through the roof. Cold and sharp. Like smoke and metal. They wrapped around the pods. One pod sparked, then shattered. Kavix slashed at the tendrils. Terra fired. Kian grabbed the tool and swung hard. But more tendrils came. They were losing. Until a new voice spoke. From above. From the door. Target locked. Master located. The Guardian stepped forward. Damaged. Burned. But alive. Its eyes glowed deep red. It raised one hand and fired. A bright beam tore through the tendrils. The forge shook, but the shadow pulled back. Kian ran to it. You're alive, the Guardian knelt. Low power, but functional. Kavix stared. You survived with him? The Guardian looked at Kavix. Yes, and I obey him. Kavix said nothing. Suddenly, the forge voice returned. Guardian support. Confirmed. Final pod activating. The last pod opened. A new Guardian stepped out. Sleek. Golden armor. Eyes white. It looked at Kian. Then said, calmly, Orders, Master? Smoke filled the forge chamber. The tendrils of the hollow star had pulled back for now, but Kian knew it was only the beginning. The shadow had seen him, and it would not stop. The Guardian stood beside him. Still damaged, sparks running across its chest. The newborn Guardian, fresh from the forge, looked at the sky with glowing white eyes. It spoke softly. I am 03. Awaiting commands, Master. Kavix stared at the new Guardian. You created it, with nothing but your voice. Kian looked at him. I didn't mean to, but you did, Kavix replied. That means the hollow star will hunt you forever. Terra looked around. Then we can't stay here. Kian nodded. We need to move, hide, regroup. The Guardian stepped forward. There is a place, far from here, a hidden station. The Tyrathi called it Sanctum 1. Zyra 3 added. The Sanctum holds blueprints, weapons, and more forgeries. Kian looked at them. Let's go. But before they could reach the ship, a warning flashed across Kian's datapad. Multiple vessels inbound. Unknown signatures. 11 targets. Terra cursed. They're here already? Kavix walked toward the door. No, not Hollow Star. Something worse. Outside, black ships cut through the sky. They were fast, silent, alien. Not human. They bore no flags. No lights. No names. Only symbols and old Tyrathy warning. Do not wake the fire. Kavix stared at them. I know those ships. They're hunters, old Tyrathy machines, built in secret. Meant to destroy any guardian who disobeyed. Terra blinked. You mean they kill their own? Kavix nodded. They were made when the Tyrathy feared their machines were getting too smart. Kian looked at his guardian and at Zira. They'll come after us. They already are, the guardian said. The hunters landed fast. 11 of them. Tall, armored, no faces, no voices. Just silence. Then dash motion. They ran toward the forge entrance like shadows. Kian shouted, "Fall back!" Zira stepped forward, arms glowing. Defensive protocol activated. The old guardian raised its cannon. Kavix didn't wait, he charged. And the battle began. Inside the forge hall, the ground shook. Tira grabbed Kian's arm and pulled him behind. A metal barrier, lasers flashed. Explosions rocked the walls. One hunter broke through a pillar and smashed into Kavix. Kavix fought back, hard claws and speed, but the hunter didn't bleed. It didn't scream. It only moved. More came. Zira sliced through one, her blade white-hot. The guardian held the line, his armor cracking with every hit. Kian looked out. We're not winning. Terra fired at a hunter. We're surviving. Then everything went still. The lights turned red. The forge voice whispered, "Override activated. Gate unlocked." Kian looked up. What gate? The floor split open behind them. A tunnel lit up leading deep underground. Kavix shouted, "That leads to the old escape port. Go." The guardians stayed behind. Kian looked at them. "You'll be overrun." The guardian said, "That is acceptable." Zira nodded. "We are machines. You are not. You carry the key." Kian wanted to argue, but Tira grabbed his shoulder. "They're buying us time." They ran. Through the tunnel. Lights flickered. Above them. The battle roared, metal on metal. Number. Screams. Just war. They reached the end of the tunnel. A platform. An old ship. Small. Sleek. Alien in design. Terra blinked. Tyrathy tech? Kavix nodded. Fast, quiet, perfect for what comes next. Kian asked, "What is next?" Kavix answered with cold calm, "The hunt." As they lifted off, the ground shook again. The forge exploded behind them. Flames shot into the sky. Kian watched in silence. He didn't know if the Guardian, or Zira, had made it out. The ship went dark for a second, then lit up. Map appeared. Galaxies. Systems. One blinking point. Sanctum dash. 1. Kian looked ahead. They want me dead. Kavix turned from the pilot seat. No, they want what's inside you. The signal. The spark. The command code. Terra asked, "Can't we erase it?" Kavix stared at her. "Would you erase the only thing the Hollow Star fears?" Hours later, they approached Sanctum 1. Not a planet, not a moon. A station floating in empty space. No light. No welcome signal, but power still flowed through it. Kian whispered, "It's real." As the ship docked, Terra looked at Kian. "Be ready, if this place holds more Guardians, or worse." Kavix stood at the door. No turning back now. As the airlock opened, something deep in the station moved. Soft, cold, watching, waiting. The probe screamed as it spun in the air. Its tendrils slashed through metal like paper. Kian stood in front of the glowing Guardian. It was still half finished, but its core pulsed. The Guardian looked at Kian. "I am incomplete, but I will protect the Master." Kian whispered, "Then let's survive this." Terra ducked behind a console, reloading her weapon. Kavix charged forward, blade glowing, and leaped at the probe. His sword struck. Sparks flew, but the probe grabbed him mid-air and slammed him into the floor. Kavix groaned. Barely conscious, Kavix. Terra shouted. Karonix watched. Unmoved. He stepped back into the shadows and vanished. Kian turned to the Guardian. Can you fight? The machine's body whirred. Metal plates locked into place. System, 63% functional. Weapons, basic. Orders? Destroy that thing. Kian said. The Guardian moved faster than anything Kian had ever seen. It leapt at the probe. Tendrils shot toward it, but the Guardian spun, dodged, then stabbed deep into the probe's side. The probe shrieked. Tira yelled, "It's working!" The Guardian landed hard, shielding Kian as sparks rained down. Then, the probe did something strange. It opened its body. Inside was a small black crystal dash floating. It pulsed with dark light. Terra whispered, "Is that the hollow star?" Kian stared. "No, just a shard." Kavix crawled toward them, coughing. "Don't let it touch you." But it was too late. The crystal sent out a wave. A scream echoed in their minds. Kian dropped to his knees. His vision blurred. He saw flashes of planets burning, machines killing their creators, the Tyrathi falling one by one. The Guardian staggered. Tira screamed and grabbed her head. Only Karonix stood tall, watching from a distance. Then Kian heard a voice, not from outside, from inside. "You are not Tyrathi, but you carry the spark." He looked up. The crystal was floating toward him. "You were chosen before you were born." Kian backed away. "No, I don't want this." The Guardian stepped in front of him. "Master, stay behind me." Then it burst into blue flames. Its armor turned white-hot. Energy flowed through its body. It grabbed the crystal and crushed it. A silent explosion of light shot out. The probe screamed one last time, then fell dead to the ground. Silence. The room went dark. The Guardian dropped to one knee. Smoke poured from its arms. It spoke weakly. "Trial complete. Unit unstable. Awaiting core replacement." Then it shut down. Terra ran over to Kian. "You okay?" He nodded, still shaking. Kavix groaned from the floor. "We need to leave now." But then the walls shook. A giant screen lit up above them. Karonix's face appeared. "You destroyed the shard. Brave, but foolish." Terra raised her gun. "You ran. Now you talk?" "I did not run," Karonix said. "I gave you your trial. And you passed." Kian narrowed his eyes. "What do you mean?" "The Guardians follow you. The core responds to your DNA. You are now the heir." Kavix pulled himself up. "There hasn't been an heir since the collapse." Karonix nodded. "Correct, but the signal you just sent." "The entire galaxy heard it." Kian frowned. "What signal?" Karonix smiled. "The rebirth signal." Suddenly, outside the vault, sirens screamed. Terra checked her scanner. "Something's coming." Kian looked over her shoulder. Dozens of red lights. Ships. Warships. Unknown origin. Karonix's voice echoed once more. "They've come to claim you, to steal what's left of the Tyrathi. But they do not know." He leaned forward. "You are no longer just human." Kian stared at his hand. It was glowing. Blue circuits had formed under his skin. The Guardian had left a mark. Terra whispered, "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything," Kian said. Kavix shook his head. "You survived the trial of fire and steel. You are now part machine." Kian looked up. "No, I'm still me. I have to be. But deep down." He wasn't sure. The vault lights flickered again. Then a new door opened. Inside was a throne made of crystal and steel. A message hovered in the air above it. "To command the army." "Take the seat," Terra gasped. "It's a control chair." Kavix stared. "It connects to every Guardian ever built." Kian looked at the chair. Then the sky above. Ships were entering orbit. His enemies were already here. He turned to the others. "We have to fight." Terra asked, "Do we run or make a stand. Kian stepped toward the chair. I think it's time. Earth stopped running. He sat. The vault exploded with light. The Guardian reactivated beside him, outside, in deep space. Old machines began to wake. Kian sat in the throne. The crystal beneath him glowed. The room around him disappeared. He was floating alone in a black void, but then he heard it, a heartbeat. Not his own. Thousands of heartbeats. Machines. Waiting. Command accepted, a voice said, activating the Tyrathy core. Suddenly, stars lit up in the void. Each one blinked. And each was a Guardian buried, lost or asleep now waking up. They had waited for the signal, waited for him. Back in the vault, Terra and Kavix watched Kian. He didn't move, didn't blink. His eyes glowed blue. The Guardian beside him stood tall. The air is linking to the steel mind, it said. Terra whispered, is it safe? Kavix shook his head. No, it's power not meant for humans. In space, the enemy ships arrived. 100 vessels, black sharp, deadly. Some were from the Ashen Syndicate. Others bore no name. They had one goal: steal the Guardian army. Kill. The air, inside Kian's mind. The steel mind opened. He could feel everything. Planets. Stations. Ruins. And machines. Old. Machines. Waiting in silence. Now they listened to him. He spoke one word: rise. On distant worlds, buried mechs clawed through rock. In old star bases, sleeping giants stood again. On dead moons, black metal broke through the dust. The Guardian army was coming. Koronix watched from a high tower. He smiled. It begins. Let the galaxy remember fear. He vanished into shadow. Terra loaded her rifle. Kavix pulled out twin blades. They watched as dozens of dropships landed outside the vault. Enemies poured out, soldiers in armor, warbots, alien beasts. Terra shouted, Kian, we need you now. But he didn't answer. Inside the throne, Kian faced a choice. A control panel appeared before him. 2 buttons. One said, awaken all. The other, protect only. He whispered, what happens if I choose wrong? The steel mind answered, you. Become them. He closed his eyes and chose protect only. Suddenly, the vault shook. A metal claw burst through the wall. A guardian stepped in, giant, armored, glowing with blue lines. It looked at Terra. Master's all eyes confirmed. Engaging enemy. It roared, then charged into battle. Terra gasped. Dozens more arrived, flying down like meteors. Each guardian fought like a stormblades, shields, and shockwaves tearing through the enemy. Kavix shouted, I've never seen power like this. Terra replied, he's not just commanding them, he's guiding them. Inside the throne, Kian moved like he was part of the machine. When he raised a hand, so did a guardian. When he blinked, a mech dodged. He was no longer just watching, he was leading. But then, a red warning appeared. Unknown code detected. Internal breach. A shadow entered the steel mind. Someone else had found the link. Another voice spoke. You don't deserve this power. Kian screamed. Pain shot through his mind. The vision turned red. Car Onyx. He had hacked the core. Somehow. He was inside the throne network. He stood before Kian. You were only the key. I am the true master. Outside, the guardians paused. Confused. One of them turned on another. Terra screamed. They're fighting each other. Kavix shouted, Kian, take back control. Inside the throne, Kian faced Koronix in the mind's battlefield. 2 masters, 1 army, 1 throne. Held a blade made of red light. He charged. Kian raised his hand and a shield appeared. They clashed. The sound shattered the mind space. Koronix laughed. You don't understand the code. You barely scratched the surface. Kian gritted his teeth. I don't need to understand it. I just need to protect people. And with that, he dropped his shield. Koronix's blade struck him, but it shattered. The steel mind glowed. Army paused again. Kian's voice echoed in every unit. I don't command you with fear. I ask you to stand with me." The Guardians' eyes turned blue again. They all kneeled. Koronic screamed and was torn from the network. Back in the vault, the battle was ending. The last enemy ship exploded in the sky. Terra ran to Kian. "Kian, are you okay?" He opened his eyes. They glowed faintly. "I am now." Kavik stood over the ruins. "They sent everything." "And we're still standing?" Terra asked. "Is it over?" Kian looked up at the stars. "No, this was just the first wave." Far away, in the core of a dying sun, a new voice spoke. Mechanical. Cold. "The air has awakened. Initiate Protocol 0. Red lights blinked across a dark galaxy. Something old had noticed him. Something worse than war. It began in silence. No explosions. No alarms, just a strange hum. Coming from space. Kian looked up at the stars. The Guardians stood behind him. Terra and Kavex watched from the vault entrance. Even the wind seemed to stop. Then, without warning, the sun turned black. High above, something moved in the shadow of the star. Not a ship, not a fleet, something bigger. Older. Alive. A machine that built machines. It had no face. No eyes, but it was watching, and it was afraid. Of him. Terra whispered, "What is that?" The Guardian beside her said one word: "Maker." Kian's hands shook. He remembered the dream, the first time he touched the throne. The voice that said, "Protocol 0 has begun." Above the planet, space bent. A hole tore open in the stars. From it came the core born. Not soldiers. Not guardians. Something worse. Machines with bone-like armor. Eyes of red flame. No heart. No fear. No voice. Just rage. They fell to the ground like comets. Thousands. Each one armed with tech lost to time. Terra fired first. Kavix charged beside her. Guardians followed, but this time they struggled. The enemy knew their moves. It was like fighting their own reflections. Kian stood on a tower. He felt the steel mind shiver. Something inside it was hiding. He called out, "What are you?" The system answered, "I am the last safety. I am the lock behind the throne. I was never meant to be used." Kian shouted, "But the galaxy is burning." "Then burn with it," the voice replied, and it shut him out. All around him, chaos grew. The Guardians were falling. The vault was cracking. Terra screamed. Kavix was bleeding. Kian looked up. And the shadow looked back. Then he made a choice. He walked to the throne, put his hand on it. And whispered, "No more masters, not even you." The system replied, confused, "That command is forbidden." Kian said, "Then let me be the first to break the rule." He sat. And for the first time, the throne obeyed. Power surged through the world. The Guardians stopped. The enemy paused. Even the Maker above the sun froze. Kian was not just linked to the steel mind now. He was the steel mind. His voice rang out, not from his mouth, but from every Guardian. "We are not your tools. We are not your slaves. We are alive." The Guardians began to change. Faster. Smarter. More human. Each one looked toward the Corburn, and they charged. The battle flipped. Terra led the human troops. Kavix flew one of the new mech suits. Kian walked through fire, untouched. The enemy fell. One by one. Not because of tech. Not because of code, but because of will. And then the Maker screamed, not in sound but in systems. Its signal blasted across galaxies. All machines heard it. Even ships far beyond the stars paused. The voice said, "ERROR. The air is not bound. The air is free." And with that, the shadow collapsed. The sun returned. The last Corburn turned to ash. After the battle, Terra sat beside Kian. "You broke everything," she said, smiling. Kavix laughed. "Including the throne." Kian nodded. "The old rules are gone." "What happens now?" Terra asked. He stood and looked at the stars. Now we build new ones. Epilogue: a message was sent across the galaxy, from planet to station to drifting. Colony. It said, "We are not machines. We are not masters. We are guardians, and Earth is our home."